Yo, how's it going? It's been well. Let's just say a lot of things were a lot of takes and retakes, of course, but a lot of things had to be cleared out. Basically, it was like a long trail of trying to kind of not like saying destroy the past, but making sure the past no longer becomes an excuse. Like, as I said, the previous events that happened, they left an impact, and realizing and talking about those impact is one thing. The the mountain I had to climb after that, because that was one peak, and for a while I forgot to look at the other peak, which is basically no longer having this as an ingrained excuse in a sense, no longer looking back, no longer having this ball and chain to lift, through the next peak. And that required a lot. It was kind of nutty, but it required this drive that I partially had, but didn't push to its natural extent, and didn't push to its best extent. And I had to get fucking hungry. Uh, Hungry to acquire what I wanted to get, like having a fixed objective and goal. And um, that was a lack of urgency, a complete lack of urgency. And it was difficult just to pinpoint that and understand, okay, well, um, what's the real mode of urgency? How do I get that level of urgency? And that kind of got interesting to look further into. And this is where, late this month, I'm finally getting into the state of urgency. What I mean by that is I could visualize the end goal, which is, let's say, being a great animator, cartoonist, and then being able to pull off these animation or comics and personal projects, or helping people with their own projects, at a high level and with efficiency. But I didn't really visualize how I would get to that level. And by doing that, I'm like in this mode where it's like, okay, well, how do I get this to this level? How do I constantly keep this stream of hunger, and okay, well, I see the end state. Getting to it, maybe I should do this in reverse. I finally can see this movement. So no, it's this. Okay, well, to get to this level, this end level, let's say every day, let me pick up 3 photos online, try to do them the best I can with the level of shading and anatomy that I can. All right, and not telling myself I need to do it exactly the way it is. No, 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 no. It's practice. It's getting a mileage. It's trying to get an understanding of it, like learning how shadow is created if on skin, if you press it, getting that how is it created, and using those little moves, or learning those little moves and then using them afterwards in my own progress projects, or in other people's projects, and my, let's say, personal practices and such. So getting that mileage, or understanding that if I read maybe 20 page a day of a book on animation, and try to do the practice on time, then maybe in a week or so I'll have understood that book, depending on how big that book is. But just setting those miniature goals, and also specifically waking up in the morning and visualizing myself performing these practices to get to this goal. And this just gets this drive, this pushes the drive even further. Not doing or telling yourself to do overkill, but at least trying to push yourself even further in that sense. And while you visualize yourself getting to that objective, you're indirectly tossing away some of the things, that would basically hinder your time or take away time. And in my case, as you notice, social medias, I kind of just tried to vanish from social media, because I kind of realized that dealing with various degrees of irrationalities, or I won't name it, but social justice, various degrees of irrationalities, okay? The whole concept of walking on eggshells for this microcosm of percentage of person that could get offended by whatever you do, whatever you say, or whatever you talk about. Telling this irrationality of thinking that your destiny is in the hands of like a corporation or organization or constitutional thing, like getting away from this irrationality gives you a lot more free time to get to your level of performance, you know, to get to the level that you want to get. Like just tossing that shit away and not even getting engaged into this irrational behavior. Because the internet, as we know, it's a double-edged sword. You will find a lot of material that will help you to get to that level, but at the same time, when you post the type of things that you like to do, you will encounter irrational people. I told you about that story about that crazy Mega Man fan that I had to block because this person stalked me all the way to Facebook. Don't need to deal with that irrationality, and the same goes for you guys. You do not need to deal with irrational people, so toss this away. And that doesn't mean like cutting off contact with everyone. No, 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 no. But once you spot a level of irrationality compared to what we're seeing in the popular social media, toss it away. You don't need to. You work to get to what you need to, where you need to be. And in my case, as I said, I had to toss away my parents because they were being ideological loonies in that aspect. And it's like, you know what? I don't need your drama. I don't need your stress. We'll talk in a year and we'll see where you're at. But I kind of needed that drive. I needed to like do this, clear this up, and set myself proper objective, proper goals, proper role models to get to that objective. And it's like it's constantly a work in progress, but as long as I don't get myself suckered back into these type of things, I can go sky high. And you know, there's also an argument you can say that you can use it as a motivator in a sense, just to tell, okay, let's show this irrational crowd that I can go even further, and I'm not into this fine label jar that they have, you know, this label jar. And hell, even doing this kind of counter irrational work can be a good motivator, because at this point, you know, kind of want to throw some jabs and uppercut, but at the same time, use the techniques that I've learned and perfected and practiced to, you know, throw these right hooks. So it's a thing about balance, but again, you don't need to fall into this crazy ass irrationality going on, and like constantly keep that drive to push yourself further, and remembering that you never know what's going to happen during the day. Today could be your fucking last. You look at all the news, okay, and I'm not trying to get you paranoid, but you look at all the news and crazy things happening anywhere, you know, 2-year-olds killing their parents by accidents and all that. And it's like, well, you can go at any time, so do you really want your last day to be arguing with someone on Twitter or getting offended at someone on social media? Fuck no! You've got objective, you've got passion, you want to get somewhere in life. Who gives a fuck about that whole thing, you know? You want to hang out with your friends and the people you give a fuck about, not faceless, emotionless texts on social media. It's just toss it away. Keep your priorities in line, you know, and don't let some faceless, emotionless drone that you'll never even meet in your life put you down and telling you that you'll never get to where you want to be because of reason XYZ. You know, fuck that. And even if that drone is not faceless and it's someone in your family that's just into this whole drama aspect, you don't need to deal with them. You don't need to. You don't need that ball of hate. You want to get that positive aspect. You want to get that push, you know. You want to get that aspect where you'll understand that you will make mistakes. In drawing, you will make mistakes. And that's a constant lesson I need to tell myself. If a sketch is bad, okay, that's 1 out of 50,000. keep going. Don't let myself, or don't remain strict to standards of saying, if I keep to this standard, I'll never make a mistake. No, explore, do shit, you know, make your 50,000 mistakes. And I guess I need to hammer on that lesson even further to continue the path of peace, because throughout this whole month I'm like, okay, well, my voice acting is not up to notch. I can't seem to get the same drive I have during conventions and interviews and all that. I'll get better! The more I try, okay, the more I try these psych up techniques before doing the vocal recording, even though this piece of shit broke. Logitech, that's it. I am done with this model of mic. Setting up a budget to get a better mic. Now I'm running with Sound Blaster, still on the cheap side, but I'm actually saving up a budget. But you know, tell myself, well, I'll record, I'll try. Sometimes some passes are going to be a dud, and some passes are going to be good. But the main focus is storytelling. I got a little story, a little joke, or a series of jokes to tell. Might as well go with it, you know. At one point, I'm even like, well, maybe I don't want to. I'm looking at the aspect of the project, and I'm like, this looks a bit too nerdy. And it's like, fuck it. I got shit to tell, jokes to do. Who cares if it's nerdy, you know? I'll have better projects in the future because of what I've learned doing this, you know, getting to this bump. So it's getting over that aspect, having that drive to learn, to understand, to go even further. And again, setting up schedule is one part of it. Not overloading yourself with the schedule is another part of it, but just going towards it, you know, not being afraid of mistakes. That's the main part. And I'm looking at my timer. Alright, it's not too long, and I was able to resume from the previous cut. So guys, again, I'll thank you. I'll thank the new subscribers. Didn't want to get into this whole political thing, and I managed to scrape it. I might do some more. You know what? I just want to toss it away. Fuck the irrationality of people. If I ever come back towards it, I'll come back towards it with parodies, because parodies will make people laugh while satiring the entire situation and possibly putting a positive spin on it. So we'll see what it goes. Okay, but yeah, again, didn't really want to bring people into this whole space, this irrational space, or making people aware of this irrationality, because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, well, I want to help people. I want to tell them that they can, or tell them a few strategies to go even further in what they want to go into, instead of looking at this irrationality and saying, well, calling it out. As much as calling it out makes people aware of it, fuck it, okay? You have objective. You want to be somebody. You want to be someone. You want to get to a certain skill level. Fuck the rest. Fuck the people telling you that you'll never be able to achieve because of whatever, okay? You want to get to that level, you'll take the steps to get to that level. And with that fuel, you'll be able to help people even further. You know, when it comes to commissions, I want to give that 160%. It's difficult because you also want to balance budget and being able to make sure that your work is the best work that you're able to give, and that is a hard gut punch to take, you know. But the more you push further, the more people, you know, coming towards you will understand that this kind of quality takes time. Time takes a budget. Same goes with headsets, right? So it's just pushing on, you know, not letting negativity, these little nuggets of negativity, even though they are justifiable because you don't want to go broke and hungry, but you still want to be able to achieve the best work that you can. And then having this proper balance between negotiating prices and being able to just go the extra mile, give that 160%, then it's the game. It's the name of the game. It's the balance. And even now, you know, I'll be doing, or I've been, you know, doing certain work on certain projects at 160%, forcing me to go back to the previous ones and bring that 110% to 160. And it's like, well, it's a balance, and at the same time, I'm enjoying the fact that okay, those lines that I've been doing a couple of months ago, beautiful. I can do even better, and just bring the work up to speed. You know, it's like it's fun, because in the end, you know, when you realize it, you'll only be as good as your previous work, as the last work that you're doing, as the work that you are currently exposing. You know, so keeping that in mind, once you want to push it further, once you want to be better and beyond, and balance it with not being too critical. Because if you're being too critical, then you're often going to block yourself by saying that not good enough and all that. It's a difficult balance, but again, shit ain't easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. You know, and there are reasons why there are Julie Bells and Boris Valagios in this world. There are reasons why there are Loises and LaShawn Thomases in this world. It ain't easy, but if you get that drive to push yourself to that level and not let anyone else keep you down or anything else keep you down, you're gonna fucking do it. Alright? So, thanks again for the new subscriber. Thanks again for the people who are patient. And I'm moving in a week, so there's going to be boxes piled up in the environment. It may change in the next video, yet I'll see what I can do, man. I'm just setting up schedule, trying to clear some freelances jobs because I got to get the revenue. I ain't getting some of that YouTube money. I don't deserve it. But and I've even refunded last month's Patreon in order to, you know, kill off this month's revenue, because nothing's been happening this month. It's just been like constant vortex and trying to get things fixed. I love this timer. It tells me when I'm rambling and I'm going over 15 minutes. So balance and getting that drive, that hunger to push even further. Not going too much or not trying to get myself into an elitist level so that I don't block myself mentally, but understanding that there are steps I need to take to get going even further, and to understanding that failure is inevitable. So I'll see what I can do. Pad of Peace #1 is like nearly done. If it wasn't for the mic incident and just this whole internal thing, would have been out. And just realizing that, visualizing that next day, just visualizing I'm recording this, it's gonna be out. What's next? But first I gotta get the whole freelancing, because moving money. So I'll see you guys soon. Alright? And just keep getting primed. Alright? Get that prime energy. And also you can check out Instagram. There's a couple of things going on there. Alright? Later guys, and listen to motivational videos. Okay, I'm stopping it now.